Beneath the sun-drenched landscapes of California, a different world exists, hidden from view. The ground is alive with tension, a sleeping giant known as the San Andreas Fault. It's a geological scar that runs deep, a constant reminder of the immense forces at play beneath our feet. For millions, this isn't just a scientific concept or a headline, it's a daily reality, not a distant threat. They live, work, and raise families in the shadow of this powerful force of nature. The San Andreas stretches over 800 miles, a colossal crack in the Earth's crust, a boundary line that dictates the fate of the region. It's here where the Pacific and North American plates grind relentlessly, a slow-motion collision that has shaped the landscape for millennia and continues to do so. This constant friction is the engine driving California's seismic activity. This fault is a wound, a visible manifestation of the Earth's inner turmoil, a place where the planet's raw power is on full display, and like any wound, it's building up energy year after year, storing the potential for a catastrophic release. The pressure accumulates, slowly but surely, like a coiled spring ready to unleash. Small tremors are reminders, subtle nudges from the sleeping giant, a constant stream of seismic activity that keeps scientists on high alert. But scientists warn of something far greater, a looming threat that overshadows these minor events. They dedicate their lives to understanding the fault, hoping to predict its next move, the big one. The earthquake that everyone fears, the one that could bring California to its knees, a megaquake that could reshape the map, tearing apart infrastructure and altering the very landscape. The scale of destruction is almost unimaginable. The impact wouldn't be limited to California. It could have far-reaching consequences, not just of California but of North America. The economic and social repercussions would be felt across the continent. The pressure is immense, building to a critical point, a force that defies human comprehension. The rocks strain to their limits, groaning under the weight of the tectonic plates, ready to snap at any moment. The Pacific Plate moves northwest, a relentless journey that continues unabated, pushing against its continental neighbor. But the motion is anything but smooth. It's a jerky, uneven process, full of starts and stops, building tension with each millimeter of movement. The plates snag, catching on each other like gears grinding, preventing the smooth release of energy. Locking in unimaginable force, a reservoir of power waiting to be unleashed in a single, devastating moment. History has shown us the fault's power. Past earthquakes serve as grim reminders of what the San Andreas is capable of. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake was only a preview, a smaller scale event compared to what the fault could potentially deliver. What would a full rupture look like? What would be the consequences for the millions who live in its path? It's a question that haunts geologists and citizens alike, a constant source of anxiety and uncertainty. We build our lives on a crust in constant motion, constructing cities and infrastructure on land that is inherently unstable. Often forgetting the power beneath, the immense forces that shape our world and threaten our existence. The San Andreas is a stark reminder, a constant visual cue of the geological reality that underlies our lives in California. Of our planet's violent nature, a force that can unleash unimaginable destruction and reshape the world in an instant. As we go about our day, seemingly oblivious to the danger, the giant sleeps, a deceptive calm that belies the immense power simmering beneath the surface. But it gathers strength, slowly accumulating the energy that will one day be released in a cataclysmic event. Are we ready for the day it finally wakes up? Have we done enough to prepare for the inevitable? The answer may define our future, determining whether we can withstand the force of nature or be overwhelmed by it. The countdown to catastrophe has already begun, and the clock is ticking. Imagine a normal morning in California. The sun is shining, birds are singing, and life is proceeding as usual. People are heading to work, children are going to school, and the day holds the promise of ordinary routines and simple pleasures. Then, without warning, the world comes apart. The serenity is shattered, replaced by a terrifying and unimaginable force. The ground lurches violently, turning solid earth into rolling waves. What was once stable and secure becomes a churning, unpredictable landscape. Buildings collapse, their foundations unable to withstand the immense pressure. Bridges snap, their steel and concrete structures twisted and broken like toys, and highways split open, the asphalt ripped apart, creating chasms that swallow cars and hopes alike. The megaquake is instant, a cataclysmic event unfolding in mere seconds, brutal and unstoppable. A force of nature unleashed with devastating power. Skyscrapers and homes are reduced to rubble in seconds, Monuments to human ingenuity turned into piles of debris. The coastline fractures, the earth groaning under the strain. A massive section slides into the Pacific, swallowed by the unforgiving ocean. Entire communities vanish beneath the waves, their existence erased in an instant. The map is instantly rewritten, coastlines redrawn, and familiar landmarks disappear. Survival is pure chance, a matter of being in the right place, at the right time. Chaos reigns as people struggle to comprehend the scale of the disaster. Power grids fail, plunging the region into darkness. Fires erupt, fueled by broken gas lines and spreading rapidly through the wreckage. And communication goes dark, cutting off the outside world and leaving survivors isolated and alone. Civilization is stripped away in minutes, revealing the fragility of our modern world. All that remains is the primal struggle to survive, a desperate fight for life amidst the ruins. Families, workers, children, all caught in the path of destruction. No one is spared from the earthquake's indiscriminate wrath. The familiar landscape is gone, replaced by a scene of utter devastation. Replaced by apocalyptic destruction, a landscape of shattered dreams and broken lives. The ground is a broken maze, a treacherous path through the ruins. The sky choked with dust and smoke, a grim reminder of the destruction below. The megaquake shatters not just buildings but the very sense of safety and security, leaving deep psychological scars. This is only the beginning, the initial shockwave of a disaster that will continue to unfold. The true horror is just unfolding as aftershocks, tsunamis, and the long-term consequences of the quake begin to take their toll. California's nightmare has begun, a long and arduous journey of recovery and rebuilding lies ahead. The shaking ends, but the disaster does not simply vanish. The earth may have settled, but the repercussions are only beginning to unfold. The initial earthquake was merely the opening act in a tragedy of unimaginable scale. The violent upheaval of the earth has destabilized the very floor of the ocean. The seafloor's collapse triggers a mega tsunami, a monstrous wave born from the depths. This isn't just a wave, it's a series of colossal walls of water racing toward the coast, an unstoppable force of nature about to unleash its full power. The first sign is an eerie calm, a deceptive prelude to the coming storm. The sea pulls back with unnatural speed, exposing the ocean floor in a vast, unsettling expanse. Then with terrifying speed, a towering wave, a liquid mountain, smashes into what's left of California. The impact is devastating, a brutal reminder of nature's raw power. Cities are obliterated in moments, reduced to rubble and ruin. Buildings crumble, infrastructure collapses, and entire communities are swept away. The water surges miles inland, an unstoppable torrent carrying debris and destruction in its wake. No place is safe from its reach. And the land is scoured clean, stripped bare of everything that once stood there. The landscape is unrecognizable. The tsunami erases everything in its path, leaving behind a wasteland of shattered dreams and broken lives. Buildings, trees, landmarks, all are swept away as if they never existed. Even the soil is ripped away, leaving behind barren earth, a testament to the tsunami's destructive force. Coastal cities become underwater ruins, silent monuments to a disaster of epic proportions. Inland areas are buried in debris and saltwater, poisoned and uninhabitable. The landscape is forever altered. The devastation spreads across the Pacific, a ripple effect of destruction that touches distant shores. Hawaii feels the impact, its beaches and communities ravaged by the relentless waves. Japan braces as the tsunami crashes against its coast, a stark reminder of its vulnerability to the sea. And other nations are struck, each feeling the devastating power of the tsunami. The world is united in grief and shock. Ports are destroyed, crippling trade and severing vital connections. The economic impact is staggering, ships tossed inland, scattered like toys by the immense force of the water, lives lost, families torn apart, a human tragedy beyond comprehension. The world watches in horror as the scale of the catastrophe becomes clear, a global tragedy unfolding before their eyes. California's coast is forever changed, its familiar beauty replaced by a landscape of devastation, a jagged, flooded scar, a permanent reminder of the ocean's unforgiving power. The familiar shape is gone, erased by the relentless force of the tsunami, replaced by a new hostile landscape, a dangerous and unpredictable terrain. The disaster has gone global, its impact felt across continents and oceans. The ocean's fury has left a permanent mark, a scar on the face of the earth that will never fully heal. The Golden State has drowned, its vibrant cities and fertile lands submerged beneath the waves. The tragedy strikes at America's heart, California's farmlands. The Central Valley, once the nation's breadbasket, is devastated. Irrigation systems are shattered. Canals, aqueducts, and dams destroyed. Floods wash away topsoil. Fissures drain reservoirs. The fields go dry, crops wither, and orchards die. Salt water from the tsunami poisons the land. The agricultural infrastructure, packing houses, transport, processing, is in ruins. The food chain collapses. Farmers are left with barren fields and broken dreams. The economic loss is staggering, but the human cost is worse. California's collapse is a blow to the entire nation's food security. The taps are off, the land is dust, the breadbasket is empty, hunger is coming. California's agricultural collapse sends shockwaves worldwide. Grocery shelves in America empty within days. Fresh produce, nuts, and dairy vanish first. Prices skyrocket. Food riots erupt and the government scrambles for solutions. The loss can't be replaced overnight. The crisis spreads. Nations relying on U.S. exports are cut off. Global food prices soar, export bans are enacted, and trade breaks down. Fragile economies tip into famine and unrest. Humanitarian aid is overwhelmed. The world faces a new catastrophe, not of shaking ground but of empty plates. The illusion of abundance is shattered. The global food system, once efficient, now spreads famine. The loss of California triggers a domino effect. Starvation and instability follow. Our interconnectedness has become our greatest vulnerability. In ruined California, survival means escape. Millions become refugees, fleeing a wasteland of hunger and ruin. The largest migration in U.S. history begins. Roads are destroyed, the journey perilous. Law and order collapse. Desperation breeds violence. Neighboring states are overwhelmed by the influx. Refugee camps swell, resources dwindle, tensions rise. Local populations fear the newcomers. The disaster zone expands through social collapse. The federal government is paralyzed by the scale. The sight of millions adrift is a psychological blow. The Californian exodus becomes a symbol of a nation broken. America faces a humanitarian crisis unlike any before. The mega-quake transforms the Pacific Ocean. Sediment and debris choke coastal waters, blocking sunlight and killing marine habitats. The food chain collapses. Phytoplankton die, fish and sea mammals starve. The Pacific becomes a graveyard. Pollutants from civilization poison the sea, creating toxic dead zones. Ocean currents may shift, altering global weather patterns. Commercial fishing collapses across the Pacific. The ocean, once a source of life, becomes a source of fear. The disaster's reach extends far beyond land. Marine life vanishes, economies suffer. The planet's systems are changed in ways we can barely comprehend. The ocean's wounds may never heal. The economic shock is as devastating as the physical one. California's collapse wipes out trillions in value. Insurance banks and investment funds fail. Global markets crash. Wall Street, Tokyo, London, all plummet. Silicon Valley is gone. Tech giants cease to exist. Ports are destroyed, supply chains severed, the global economy unravels. This is not a recession, it's a meltdown. Currencies lose value, savings are wiped out. Governments can't contain the crisis. International cooperation breaks down, nations turn inward. Trade wars and resource conflicts erupt. The interconnected economy becomes a source of chaos. The megaquake has shattered the framework of modern civilization. Is this nightmare possible? A massive San Andreas earthquake is inevitable. The big one is a matter of when, not if. The immediate destruction is real, but some extremes, like California falling into the sea, are fiction. The San Andreas is a strike-slip fault. It won't send a continent-sized chunk into the ocean. Mega tsunamis are unlikely, but regional devastation is plausible. The collapse of agriculture, mass displacement, and economic shock are frighteningly possible. Our civilization's stability is tied to the planet's. We've built intricate systems on a foundation of geological calm. The real warning? Our world is fragile. We can't prevent the next great quake, but we can build resilience. Can we create systems that withstand disaster? Our survival may depend on it. The countdown continues. Are we ready?